Continue. Hello, John.
Hello, Oliver.
And so President Donald Trump has been elected for a second time as the President of the United States. It was a hard won fight, considering he almost lost his life because of his convictions. So we'll talk about Donald Trump, and you wish to congratulate him also.
I do indeed. John Malone and Christian TV Ireland, .ie, congratulates him. And I prayed, funny enough, for the success because it was presented in the media, in this media here, even on EWTN, as being very close. So I couldn't understand it, that it'd be close with what Harris and the Democrats have done, and particularly Harris, that would inflict all sorts of um, restrictions on the Catholics and Christians, and that they would have no exemption from the sort of agendas that they have presented during their 4 years as President Biden and Harris vice president. Now, so apparently. I'm delighted, and I'd be sending, and I hope on our behalf you'll contact the relevant authorities in the US and perhaps the embassy here, but particularly over in the US and the presidential authors, and congratulate President Donald John Trump, J. It's Donald J. Trump, and I think it stands for John Trump. So it's great news that he's coming in because not alone will he stabilise the economy there, but he hopes to end the war in Ukraine, and he will because he'll talk, as the fellow says, Turkey to President Putin. President Putin will know where he stands with President Trump. He didn't know where he stood with. Nobody knew where he stood with President Biden. Regretfully, he didn't present a strong image, and he didn't seem to stand for anything that I could focus on. He was supposed to be a Catholic, but his Catholic faith is a heck of a lot different than most of us, because we wouldn't support abortion, the killing of the innocent, or any other thing that they support and they support in this country. But go ahead anyway. I want to congratulate President Trump and his success, I believe, in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. So people, this even business and all the rest of it wasn't as even as what was predicted by the media.
This is the thing, and I think, look, the thing about a Trump presidency is you're guaranteed you're going to have changes, and in a way, something so radically that changes so much is a great thing. It brings us back. I mean, it brings us back to a lot of positive things. So in Ireland, I was looking at, what could actually possibly change in Ireland. The positives are, okay, and the economy might slow down a little bit, but it's exaggerated what Trump, his tariffs and his taxes and the whole lot. I don't agree with any of that, okay. So we'll probably have a lot of people leaving Ireland, particularly if he solves the Ukraine crisis. We could have 100,000 Ukrainians leaving Ireland, and that helps our accommodation.
Hey,
It
but hey,
reduce house prices and stuff. So I think there are many positive things.
yeah, but the Ukrainian people would like to go back in safety to their own home,
Yeah.
to their own homes, their own country, and their own culture. And after all, to have a culture, each country has a culture, and we have our culture, which is being downgraded by the influx of so many people and the attitude of this government that we're saddled with. So it's good news, and it's actually the business of what you mentioned there, tariffs and this, that, and the other. This was portrayed by the media as being the upshot. They were so negative about President Trump, and but the people in the United States thought different, even though the polls and all the rest of it were so out of touch. An agenda, to my way of thinking, to try and not allow President Trump to be elected, because he will start doing things that's good for the people, not for these vested interests, the like of Soros and all these individuals that want to undermine democracy. Don't forget the COVID business. That had a serious effect on business, quite frankly, a terrible, serious effect. And so we don't know what caused that. It's strange that it occurred, and what there has been no proper investigation about it. I hope President Trump is able to unearth something about it, so as we be reassured that this is an agenda of people that have an agenda to try and control society.
Yeah, I think look, one of the other really positive things, there's a lot of positive things here in terms of housing. I think the prices of houses will actually be affordable again now in Ireland because of a Trump presidency. I mean, all these great things are going to happen. So I wouldn't believe all the scaremongering that we have in the Irish media. It's absolutely terrible what's been said,
Well,
you know.
I don't bother paying any attention to it. This is why they're so out of touch with reality, and they want to change their stupid way of going on. One would I would hate to be working in the like of RTE or any of the other media outlets that have such a negative attitude when something that might be good all round. President Biden didn't invest in this country. President Trump did down in Clare, where there was often unemployment, and there was employment for about 300 or 400 people. So he didn't get much thanks for that.
Yeah.
And so here we are, and thanks God, I'd be definitely be hope that we will send congratulations to the headquarters in the US, and congratulate President Trump and the Republican Party that they will do good for the country, and I think they will,
I think
and do good for the world in the
there's a
process.
there's a lesson for everybody around the world from Trump. And I think the most important thing
Rich.
is he had, and we mentioned it many, many times in this channel, he had what most people don't have, which is the courage of his convictions.
Rick and right, you hit the nail on the head there, Oliver. He has the courage of his convictions, and they're good convictions. They're convictions that I certainly support. And he had a respect for life the last time. And then he was accused of they were going to change the Supreme Court. Now it has done good for the country when they went by what the mob had been, the media had been advocating, this business of killing of the innocent and calling it health. I mean, could you? They must think people are some kind of idiots or something that they believe that nonsense. President Trump was of that ilk, but he wasn't as strong in this time. But I think he'll revert to the pro-life, and I shouldn't wonder. Just between, just to say something, I wouldn't be surprised if he became a Catholic.
Yes, indeed. Well, anyway, look, as I say, he's going to bring
Prediction.
a wind of change, which is really, really needed. It is a wake-up call for Irish industry as well, of course, that that we need to focus on our own Irish industries. We've been going on about that for a long, long time,
We
and
have, we
if
have,
we
and the
focused on
family business.
yeah, and the family businesses, traditional businesses in Ireland, and if we focused on those, we wouldn't have to listen to the all the other newspapers with all their nonsense going on about trades and tariffs.
Correct. And but do you think will they apologise or will they change their tune? They'll be trying to find fault. Don't forget, President Trump was pilloried by the courts on the instructions of their Justice Department. So there seem to be a lot of peculiar things happening in the United States of a variety that's not conducive to democracy. Quite frankly, they didn't seem to respect the democracy, in my opinion. President Trump, they accused him of all sorts of things when he was president, all erroneous and wrong. And so we'll see what happens this time. I think they'll better shut up. And the media here, they want to wake up from whatever they're saddled with, whatever sort of old yokes that they have in charge that are that way inclined, and then dictating to the people that this is what the way they have to, um, go. And they have a correspondent in the United States, and I think had the misfortune to just to hear him. I think when I was not looking at RTE, but his views seemed to me to be contrary to what I figured was going on over there. By the way, my good friend Eamon Conlon's son is in in the Queens in New York, and when his income tax went up when Trump was president, he had a bonus. Things were so good, uh, and as pension improved and everything, and the Democrats down. But that wasn't presented in the media or anything like that. And there were, so we thank God that against the odds, in some ways, President Trump has been re-elected president, and so as the Republicans gain control of the Senate and Congress. So this is good because it means stability, and I think they'll do things right. President Trump certainly, as you rightly say, has convictions and good convictions, to my way of thinking. Not convictions for doing something that one wouldn't agree with. He brought in the Supreme Court voted for to end this um, business of the killing of the innocent, and going back to the states. And there seemed to be confusion there with the same Democrats trying to make sure that the killing of the innocent stayed on their books. They don't call it that; they call it something else. Health and all the rest of it. Women's choice, like as if women. They forget that women are mothers, and killing their babies is not something that'll haunt them for the
I
rest of their life.
I remember when they were talking about the referendum, on I think it was on gay marriage, and they were talking about abortion and the whole lot. But the phrase "my body, my choice" was used, And then when the vaccines, wait till here. So that's what they were saying. The women were saying it's my body, my choice, and this was drilled into women's heads across Ireland, right? And then when the vaccines came along, I used to say to people about the vaccine, it's my body, my choice. Uh,
And unfortunately, they went down here in this country a wrong road, and they used phraseology, and there was no independent voice, quite frankly, to speak up for the others. There was no debate in the Dáil because Martin, the Fianna Fáil leader, in his ignorance or dismal carry on, went with the government in opposition. And I went to a couple of meetings in Fianna Fáil. Of course, I left it. Wouldn't touch it with a 40-foot pole. That their business was to oppose, not to support such draconian measures. And so they get a hope of good hiding when there is an election. That people are wake up themselves here in this country and vote for anyone other than Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, or Labour.
John Malone, we congratulate once again Donald Trump on his presidency, and hopefully we'll have
Trump.
many.
John Trump. I hope his name is John, and a second name.
Yes, indeed.
So certainly we congratulate him, and we look forward to a bit of stability worldwide.
Now you're talking.
And Iran has been posing problems with this business of arming terrorists like in Gaza and in Lebanon, Hezbollah and all the rest of them. They were getting money from the Democrats for oil or something, and he was interfering to have oil in the United States, and he wasn't supporting that. So it was a very strange agenda that they had, and this is why I think they're after getting trounced.
They got their comeuppance. Thank you very much, John.
They did. They got their comeuppance.
Thank you.
So there you are, Oliver. That's good. So we send our best wishes to President Trump and the Republican Party and hope they rule wisely and well. And we have stability worldwide and benefit this country with the end of the war in Ukraine. The people there can return to their own country. God bless them. We Irish had to emigrate when we were under the yoke of the British. 2 million emigrated during the famine and the persecution and the penal laws. Off they went. And they did well. They were at the bottom of the rung, persecuted even over there, because the British controlled that until they got their independence. And then the Irish come forward with the
Thank you.
ability that they have when they give it a chance. Right, Oliver. So we finished.
We're finished now, John Malone, and John Malone has had his say.
Oh yeah,
So
oh God, I certainly wanted to congratulate President Trump because I have friends or people that I know, and they're the opposite. And honest to goodness, I nearly can't stand their company at times.
thank you very much, John.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Oliver. I know.